This question looks big, but I promise you it's not. All we need is the logic of surds and logic of mathematics to solve this question easily. Hey guys, welcome back to Brainy Buddies. Today we are going to be solving this surds problem which looks scary but isn't. Watch this collapse beautifully when you simplify and use some tricks. So let us start solving. What are surds, you might ask? Surds are nothing but irrational numbers like root 2 or say root 50 only for example. Here in our equation we have root 50 plus root 8 minus root 18. These are all surds which are irrational numbers. They never simplify to a perfect whole number. But we can simplify them into irrational numbers neatly. You can just think of surds as untidy roots. So let's start solving. Root 50. Now how can root 50 be written as? Root 50 can be written as root 25 into root 2, right? So it can be written as root 25 into 2, but it would eventually be simplified into this root 25 into root 2. What is root 25? We know that 5 square, 5 into 5 or 5 square is equal to 25. So root 25 is nothing but 5 into root 2, which means 5 root 2. Let's see root 8. Root 8 can be written as root 4 into root 2. Root 4 into root 2 can be simplified as root 4 is 2 into 2 or 2 square is 4. So square root of 4 is 2. 2 into root 2, 2 root 2. So root 8 is simplified into 2 root 2. And then root 18. Root 18 can be written as, let's think, root 9 into root 2. Yes, root 9 into root 2 is perfect for simplification because we know that 3 into 3 or 3 square is 9. So square root of 9 is 3 and 3 into root 2, 3 root 2. Now have you guys noticed something here? 5 root 2, 2 root 2, 3 root 2. These are like terms. These surds are like terms. Why? Because they always have this one matching surd part, root 2. No matter if 5, 2 or 3 keeps changing, root 2 is always the same here. And that makes our calculation much easier. So now we can solve the equation. Let's see, root 50 is 5 root 2. Let's arrange them in the correct sequence. Plus root 8 is 2 root 2. Plus, minus root 18 is 3 root 2. So then we get 5 root 2 plus 2 root 2, which is nothing but 7 root 2. So when we're solving this, guys, look at only 5, 2 and 3. The third root 2 is always there. Just ignore it and keep solving like you're normally adding or subtracting any number. So we solved this part. 5 root 2 plus 2 root 2 is 7 root 2. Now 7 root 2 minus 3 root 2. That will give us our final answer. 7 minus 3 is 4 and 4 root 2 is our final solution and final answer. So did you see how it collapsed neatly and very beautifully into this small solution? That is the power of surds and that is the power of mathematics. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and to share it to any of your other friends, classmates, or anybody else. And if you have any more topic ideas that you want me to explain or solve a problem on, then please share it in the comment box. Thank you for watching this video. Meet you in the next video. Bye bye.